Get your music heard by millions using TikTok. With over 700 million monthly active users, TikTok has the power to make any track a viral hit, and within as little as 24 hours. It's created hits such as Old Town Road by Lil Nas X, and more recently, Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. It can take an unheard artist to number one, or it can take a well-known artist and completely make their track go viral overnight. It works for absolutely anyone. And we've done it ourselves. We've made an artist reach 1 million streams within a matter of weeks purely because of TikTok. And she had a small audience beforehand. And we used this strategy that I'm going to explain to you. It's a simple strategy that any artist can be doing, and it can lead to your track going viral. A lot of you probably think TikTok is a little bit cringy. It's for a younger audience. You have to do stupid dances to blow up on this platform. That's not the case at all. I'm actually going to give you 2 separate strategies within this video. One is for people that are happy to create content, and the other one is for people that aren't really into creating content themselves. Both work just as effectively. We've done both of these strategies and both work. So strap yourself in, get ready to learn how to get your music to go viral within as little as 24 hours. Before doing anything else, you need to ensure that your music's actually on TikTok. A lot of distributors has offered this more recently. So you've got DistroKid, you've got Ditto. There are plenty of distributors that offer TikTok distribution as one of their services. However, you need to make sure they actually offer this. So check with your distributor, email them, have a quick call, make sure they're going to get the track on the platform, because that's the first step. That is key. You want people to be able to use your audio and for it to have your track title and your name all over it, because then they can stream the track, then they can go across and find you afterwards. Now into the interesting stuff. How do you get onto the For You page? How do you make sure people are using your track? How do you trend? How do you make sure that your track is going viral? Well, I'm going to tell you all that. But before anything else, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to like if you're enjoying the video as well. We really appreciate all the support. As I said at the beginning of this video, there's actually 2 strategies I'm going to be talking about. The first strategy is going to be for people that don't mind making content and are happy to be on TikTok themselves. And the second one is for people that don't really want to be on TikTok. They just want their music to be, and they want their music to be heard. Make sure to listen to both though, because you want to be able to compare them. You want to pick the one which is most fitting to you, most fitting to your style, most authentic as well. Strategy number 1. This strategy is the one that we used really recently. Just a couple of months ago, we used this strategy for an artist, and it led to her track getting used by over 140,000 people on the platform. She now has over 120,000 followers on TikTok, and the track itself that we worked on got over 1 million streams on Spotify and over 1 million views on YouTube. So this strategy straight up works. And she was an unheard of artist before, literally close to no audience. So totally doable for any of you. This strategy starts by you actually creating a TikTok account. Create the account and make sure you're creating content. If you haven't got TikTok as an app, download it. Spend some time on the platform because it's a very unique one. I always compare it to Vine. It's similar to that in the humor that it has and the way it's edited. It's short form content, and the humor of it and the editing of it is very different to anything. So you need to be on the platform to fully understand it. Once you spend some time on the platform, make sure you know what sort of content you want to create. The content needs to be fitting for you as an artist. It needs to be fitting to your target audience. So the artist we worked with, her audience and the track was fitting to an LGBT community. So what she did is she created content fitting to that. So she eventually got that audience. You need to populate your actual profile on TikTok with content which is fitting to an ongoing theme and fitting to your target audience. Once you've done that, and make sure you're doing this for a couple of weeks at least, you'll start to find that you actually are getting an audience. If you're sticking to that theme, you're using the correct hashtags, and the content's high quality, you will be getting an audience. Now you've got that small audience, you can start to plug the music a little bit more. So this could either be starting a trend or telling the narrative behind the song. Starting a trend could be something as simple as a dance routine, or it could be something a little bit more creative. So John Mayer track, Gravity, that was a pretty creative trend right there. Or you can look to tell the narrative, and this is what we did with the artist that we worked with. She told the story behind the track, behind the lyrics. She did this a few times actually, and it finally got through to the For You page and got huge reach. That's when people started to use it, and that's when she could start to send that video to other influencers. Not 1 penny was spent on that strategy because she told the narrative, it reached an audience, she already started to grow an audience, which was her target audience. And then it eventually got used by more and more and more people. It was used by over 1,000 people, and they didn't just stick to the trend that she did. She was telling the narrative behind the song, so people could have easily told their narrative and how the track was fitting to them. But instead, they all took that track and they made their own trend out of it. It doesn't matter what the trend is as long as it's bringing attention to you and your track. And that's what's great about this first strategy. It all comes back to you. She got the exposure, and it meant that more and more and more people flooded to her TikTok account, which is now currently at around 120,000 followers. So how can you do this? Well, we also spoke to another TikTok artist, Austin Giorgio, and I'll actually link that video below. We did a whole podcast with him, and he did a similar thing to the artist that we worked with, Lena, where he told the narrative behind his song. Although it didn't become a trend, people heard the song and it still got used by a lot of people. And it impacted the streams, it impacted his reach, it impacted his audience on TikTok. So you can do the same. You can simply tell the narrative behind your song, or you can start doing a trend. But be consistent with that theme. Whatever theme you choose to do, be consistent with it, because otherwise TikTok's algorithm is not going to be able to work out what your content theme actually is. So in short, strategy 1, you make a TikTok account, you populate it with content, you start to promote the music in a creative way, and then you send that content to influencers. And if you're struggling to find these influencers, use a hashtag which is similar to your content theme. So with Lena, LGBT, so you'd use those hashtags, click them, find some influencers that have a high follow count and DM them. If you're struggling to message them because they're not following you back, then click through to Instagram. Majority of them have their Instagram linked. Now, strategy number 2. This one is for people that don't actually want to create TikTok content. Completely fine. We know lots of artists don't really enjoy creating content. You're a musician first. If that's the case, all right, but what you're going to have to do is potentially invest a little bit of money or invest a lot of time. So you're going to skip the part where you make a TikTok account and you make content, and instead you're going to spend time on the platform finding influencers. You need to sit down and listen to your track. Think, how can this become a trend? How can an influencer be creative with this? And the best way to do this is to listen to your song as a whole, but clip it into 15 to a minute sections and listen and think, how can this be made into a bit of a narrative, a bit of a trend? Do the lyrics tell you what to do? Do the lyrics make sense out of context? Can you have a bit of fun with it? Or is it just a really happy beat and you can make a dance trend? Think about that. Once you've got that in your head, find the TikTok influencers who are fitting. So say you think you want to do a dance one. Find a track which is viral on the platform, which people dance to, and then message those influencers in the exact same way that I mentioned in strategy 1. If you message a lot of these influencers, you're going to be able to understand within the early stages whether they want payment or whether they think it's a good idea and they just want to take credit for it and get their followers up by making an amazing trend. If it's a really cool idea, influencers will do it because it means they're the ones that start a trend, which is always the aim for TikTokers, because if they're the first person that created the trend, they get all the credit, they get all the followers, they get all the views. And that doesn't bother you because you're still getting your music out there. So the more creative you are, the better the pitch sounds to them. However, a lot of them, if they have a big following, will ask for payment. And if you think they have your exact target audience, and you'll know this by looking through the comments, and they get very good views on all of their videos, don't just look at one, then it's definitely worth the payment. Don't just pay one, you're gonna have to pay a handful for it to really grow. A little tip as well, if you get one big influencer to start the trend, yes, you're gonna organically get some others that are gonna do it for free, but you can also take that video and look through their followers and message them saying, I noticed so-and-so did this trend, I think you might like it as well. And they'll recognize that influencer because they follow them, so are more likely to do the video. Strategy 2 also works. You've got Drake, the Tootsie Slide most recently. You've got The Weeknd, Blinding Lights, Lil Nas X with Old Town Road. All of those artists aren't on the platform, but they got influencers to start a trend. So both these strategies work. And that's why TikTok's fantastic. I hope you found this video useful. And if you did, hit that like button. And if you have any questions at all, make sure to drop a comment. And also let me know which strategy is your favorite, 1 or 2. If you haven't joined the community yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell so you're notified when we upload, and we'll see you soon with more music marketing advice.